all y'all know what already happened after that. It was so the point is that you have to project a certain aura. Whatever you say, it doesn't matter what you say, and that's part of what I was going through at Yale. As a matter of fact, on the website you can also get the Flyness at Yale DVD. All right, and this DVD is actually over an hour long, and I'm talking about a little bit more specifically how you can tailor your game in the right situation. But yeah, pickup lines are, it's not the line. A lot of people are like, well, what lines do you use? It's not even what you say. It's more how you say it. And I know a lot of my seasoned cats in the room. They already know that. You know what I mean? So so a lady's perspective. What do you think, Crystal? Let's pick on Crystal in Carolina. In Carolina, by the way, where in the U.S. or where in the world are you from? Gonna get like a little roll call. And I see Boardroom 1984 is in the room. I see Child of the Corn again. I see Jor laughing. We got Sean Legend logging in from two different accounts. Okay, all right. So Carolina's in North Carolina. All right, cool. We got Chicago up in this piece. All right, cool. We got people all over the country. I know it's like a little after 9 in Chicago. All right, cool. So that's what's cracking, man. All right. So what did everybody do this weekend? Was it a good weekend? Depends on how it's said. Whenever I've heard them, I think it's just to break the ice, to get that smile. Yeah, and that's true. Sometimes it just breaks the ice. What annoys, and I think maybe in New York more than other cities, because the woman in New York, for those of you who are in New York, I think Don Willie's in New York. The females here are way more no nonsense. So if you come at the average female in New York with a pickup line, she's gonna look at you like you're crazy. Yeah, yeah, all right. So yeah, Don Willie's here. So yeah, woman in New York. I was at a party last night, man, and I met these two women who were really cool. They might even be looking at this under one of the guests. But yeah, Carolina. I'm in New York, and I was at a lounge last night, and at this particular lounge, I met two women who were really cool. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. These two women who were really cool had them wrapped up in game. Really cool though. Really really cool women. Um, but basically, for the rest of the night though, I was just watching dude after dude get rejected. Not by these women in particular, because they left a little early, but from other females who were in the spot. They were just rejecting dudes, just left and right, left and right. And it wasn't that these dudes were lame, but their game wasn't confident enough. And I'm sure many of them were using pickup lines. They're probably using the same stuff that Will Smith was using, but it was about the delivery. And I could tell by these dudes' body language, like when I was in high school, I know a lot of my failures with women came from the fact that I'd approach women like this. I'd be shy, I'd be kind of, like looking, and that's creepy, man. You have to be so confident with yourself that it's contagious. You know what I mean? And that's what ladies like. Whatever situation you're in, even if you're asking her an innocent question. You know what I mean? So, you know, I see Sean asks, "Do you need to turn the book covers into posters for the flash stream?" That's a good idea, Sean. I might just do that. I might make a wide kind of banner like right here, you know. So yeah. So Don Willie, I should have hit you up. Now, Don Willie, where in the city are you at? Oh, in Carolina. I'm in the cut. I'm in the cut. I have to drive about an hour to see a building. So okay, so Don Willie, you're in Brooklyn. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in the city a lot though. I'm in the city. That's where a lot of my models come from. A lot of them come from Jersey. We'll meet in Midtown. If you go to flynessmodels.com, you'll actually see that a lot of the photos are actually done in the city. They're actually done in Queens. They're done all over the place. So, I'm always down there. I went on a so-called date yesterday, which was interesting. So, all right. So I see Crystal says, as mentioned before, Americans are more straightforward, and I've heard them over there, but had a pickup line over here, just general conversation. Okay, all right. And I noticed that when I went, and for those of you who are new, um, I went to Canada. I had a promotional photo shoot out there in Canada, which is where some of those photos came from. As a matter of fact, let's just revisit a quick clip, real quick, of a young lady that I met in Canada who is actually Nova Scotian, and she's not Asian at all. She's native and Nova Scotian. So check this out.
Thank you for coming out. Now,
Thank you.
how did you enjoy the shoot?
I loved it. It was a
Loved
good
it?
experience.
All
I
right.
had fun, good music, good photographer. It was good. I
All
loved
right,
it.
very, very cool. All right, so now what kind of projects can people find you in the future? Do you have anything up and coming?
I do a lot of promo work for like bike shows, auto shows. I have Model Mayhem, so if any photographers want to get in contact with me, they can look me up. I don't know the number, but you can find me.
Okay.
And yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Fellas, there's some fine women in Toronto, in Ontario. I know they're fine women all over the world, but with good attitudes. Like nothing like New York. I had a ball up there. Let me tell you, it was great. I loved it. I swear, I'm still looking into real estate up there. If there are any real estate developers, Crystal, if you know any real estate agents up in Canada who can put me up onto the game, contact me in my off time. We'll have to chit chat. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Don Willie said females in NY are crazy. I mean, yeah, man. You know, I mean, the attitude, the overall attitude that I get, and this is regardless. And this is still along the lines of pickup lines and delivery, but the attitude that a lot of females have up here specifically, not even in Boston, because I was raised in Boston, but just specifically in New York, it's like a don't talk to me, or you know, it's like everybody has this like wall in front of them. You know what I mean? So it can get really tricky. So the whole question, or the whole I guess the whole answer to that is just you have to be really bold. And when you approach females, especially like if you're in a club, for instance, especially a club in New York City. Now in other cities it's a little easier. You could just basically dance with a female and kind of get your foot in the door. But in New York, you almost have to be on some, you know, you have to kind of give them really strong eye contact. You have to make sure you're on point. And I actually have a TwitVid out. If you go to twitvid.com, you actually search on Flyness. I have a video called "How to Pick Up Females in a Club." You know, like your definitive guide. And basically, you have to, you know, when you talk to a female, right? You're in the club. You don't have to dance. Now, I purposely invited my fellas from SoSuave.net on this UStream, because a lot of what guys on there talk about, they have all of these canned openers. There's a lot of guys who have somewhat pickup lines, and they're really too methodical. And first of all, the guys there are cool, but I think a lot of the stuff can get a little bit too robotic. I think the best way to actually get into a female's mind and to get her looking at you on a romantic level is to project confidence. You know, you sit up straight, you lean back, even if it means she can't hear you. You lock eyes with her. She could be 5, 6, 7, 10 feet away from you, and you say, you know, how you doing, right? And you're just confident. She'll sense your confidence. I don't care how you look. I've seen dudes who look torn down. You know what I mean? And they're still getting at females. It's those so-called bad boys. It's not that you have to be bad, so to speak, but it's just the aura that you give off. All right, so that's what that is. You know what I mean? So yeah, Crystal. The question was again, just in terms of females, like just comparing females in the U.S. versus Canada and elsewhere, and specifically in New York, because I know the vibe wasn't really like that out there. And you know, when I was in Virginia, when I used to live in Atlanta, you know, when I travel in other places in the U.S., um, the females are a little bit more approachable, especially the further south you get. But you know, in New York, you have to be on your game. Like the same thing as they say with everything else. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. You know, so you know. Oh yeah, Don Willie, can you hear my accent? Yeah, sometimes it comes out. You know, so I see you, Punderwo. What's going on? Damn, y'all can't still hear me? Alright. Is this better? Is it better when I approach the mic? Man. I'm gonna have to get some more equipment. I just didn't want to be in y'all's faces. I wanted to kind of sit back. Oh, I see we got 11 viewers up in here. We're jumping up. Oh no, we got more guests. Okay, so we're over 20. All right. Cool. All right. Step up to the mic. Yeah, Don Willie. Y'all silly. Let me make sure I'm not missing any announcements. Yeah, by the way, again, the Make It Happen tour is coming this fall. So in New York, as as soon as we get all the details together, you're gonna get a flyer. It's gonna be sometime in the beginning of October. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, cool. So this is what I'm gonna do now. The other thing I wanted to address, because I'm getting. Oh, Don Willie, you're the guest host now. All right. So other thing I want to address is the fact that a lot of dudes are really, what should I say? How should I say this? A lot of dudes are being run over, right? And the dudes, you said only in New York City. Now, only what in New York City? Don Willie. Oh, special guest host for the tour. Don Willie, what you do? I'm not even arranging any of the details. Actually, Ola is arranging the details. So if you want to contact Ola, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/flynessauthor. Yeah, hit up Ola and he'll handle the details, man. It's out of my hands. So whatever y'all coordinate, that's the man right there. So but yeah, man. What was I gonna say? I lost my damn train of. I gotta close that damn chat room. Nah, but just in terms of dudes, now a lot of dudes are getting run over, right? So you have and I talk about this on Twitter a lot. And one of the things that I talk about is the fact that the way a lot of dudes are acting now, even though these shows came out in the 90s, a lot of dudes are acting like Kevin Arnold. If you watch the Wonder Years, like back in the day, you remember Kevin Arnold, you remember Urkel, you remember Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World. All these dudes were getting owned like by their females, and it was normal. Like you remember every freaking episode, Urkel would be like, "Hey Laura, what's going on?" And Laura would be like, "Go away, Steve." And even the family was in on it, like, "Bye, Steve." Everybody was like, "Urkel, get out of here," and he would just keep coming back for more. Corey Matthews to a lesser extent, but still the same thing. He would always agonize over Topanga. Even cartoons, even Doug Funny. You remember Doug? Doug Funny always be, like, Patty. Oh, Patty's so beautiful. And you had this whole culture, and I fell into it too. That's why my game was whack. And it was so easy to put women up on a pedestal. I know a lot of the ladies in the room can probably attest to this. And yeah, Doug was a cool dude, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like, he let Roger get to him. You know what I mean? And you have a lot of dudes who are in this situation now. And for my cats who are still in college, for my cats who are still in high school, this is the time where you really need to get up on your game. You know what I mean? You really need to use those guys from the 90s as examples of what you don't want to do. Even even nowadays, I can't even think of anything that's on TV. Everything's a reality show. But a lot of dudes are getting owned, even on a financial level, which I'll get into later. But Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods lost damn near $1 billion because he didn't get the player out of his system, and I talk about that in my books. But if you don't go through that stage and get all that stuff out of your system, it's gonna come back to haunt you. So, yeah, and Martin too. Well, Martin, no, Martin was a little bit more Mac-ish. Martin was silly. But Martin didn't back down. He wasn't a punk. And, Gina was all over him all the time. And, in real life, the way Martin was kicking Pam out of the condo, Pam would have been all over him in real life. So, that's the way that is. If you exude more manhood and if you actually show yourself as someone who is not a punk, you know what I mean? That's the deal. So, I'm going to show another clip. And this is actually a clip of when
black dress with